Only 34% of Black Americans hold a valid passport. Let that sink in. That means 2/3 of us locked inside of a system that was never built for us to leave.
So, as people are waking up to the truth of this reality, don't you know there's a mass exodus taking place here in the United States? People are leaving so quick, it doesn't make sense. I myself considered leaving as well. So what I did last year in October, I ordered my passport.
Black people, if you can, get your passport. After you get your passport, go to a country where there's a lot of black people. And after you do that, come back here and see how you feel. Just a suggestion. Have a good day.
If you are a black person living in the US and you do not have your passport, I need you to get your passport this year. I know that this process is getting more expensive. I know it takes time and energy, and it's not an easy process. I know they make it difficult, that's for a reason, but I need you to get your passport as soon as possible. We need options, and a passport gives you options. I need you to, if you accomplish nothing else this year, please get your passport.
All right, the video I just played is from Black Americans, okay? And there's a lot of videos from Black Americans that are supporting this, that you should get your passport. As a US citizen, as a Black American US citizen, you should get your passport. Because from one of these videos that I have played here, this lady is saying that people are waking up to the truth that and there is mass exodus taking place right now in the United States. Okay? Why? Because of how America is going, of what Trump is doing to the people. So people are leaving USA. And right now, passports are being denied, passports are being revoked. So just to be on the safe side, you need to get a passport. And from this one, it tells me a lot of things. It's something to think. It's a food for thought, okay? Because people are waking up to the truth of this reality. The truth of American dream is just an illusion, you know? And this sets a spiritual and social awakening tone. It suggests that more Americans, especially Black Americans, are realizing how the system operates, are realizing how freedom is often an illusion, and how United States is not the land of opportunity as it was pretended to be. Okay? Again, there's a mass exodus taking place. That is reality for Black people, for white people. People are leaving. Okay? This line taps into the reality of many Black Americans exploring relocation to Africa, relocation to Central America, to the Caribbean, you know? And people are leaving so quick. Okay? People are leaving so quick. And it's about following divine intuition to escape a collapsing system before it traps people. So my people, that's the video I'm going to talk about. And this is my message to all Black people and African diaspora across the US. This message is for you, okay? Because when a system starts denying you the right to live, that's not freedom. When a system starts denying you freedom to live, that is captivity in disguise. It's happening to people of the transgender community. It's happening to people of color. Okay? Now, before I continue, I love you all for tuning in. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep in something the media will never tell you. Let's watch these clips and then we come back with more commentary.
I know I waited a long time to do it, but I got my fucking passport. Get y'all fucking passports. The way Donald Trump got on live television and said that he was willing to have farmers become masters, essentially, and their immigrant workers to become slaves. Are we taking it serious now? Hello?
Only 34% of Black Americans hold a valid passport. Let that sink in. That means 2/3 of us locked inside of a system that was never built for us to leave. This isn't random. Historically, the U.S. system has never encouraged Black folks to move freely. From Jim Crow travel restrictions to sundown towns to border harassment, it's always been about control. They don't want us exploring beyond what they built for us. And now, its cost, a passport is $165 plus photos plus processing. Add expedited fees, you're pushing around $250. For a family of 4, that's almost $1,000 just to get papers that other communities take for granted. And then there's knowledge. So many people don't even realize how long the wait times can be and how much documentation you need until they're already in crisis mode. That's by design. Confuse you, delay you, and you give up. Meanwhile, the ground is shifting, jobs are disappearing, ICE raids are normalizing, checkpoints popping up. I was just in one the other day. I was shook, I was scared, I was nervous, and I cried on the way home. And most people don't even have the basic document that says we can leave. A passport isn't a luxury, it's survival. It's recognition from another government that you exist. Without it, you're trapped here when the walls close in. When I tell you to get a plan B, it's not because I read it in a book. It's because I've seen the checkpoint lights in my front mirror, in my front windshield. Got a tap on the window, car searched, and in my rearview mirror on the way out while I'm shaking and crying from the whole ordeal. I felt what it's like to know you're not free to move. And I refuse to be stuck like that again. Look, tools are in the bio. Patreon right here is where I always drop the full truth, and I'm going to start doing really light surface fluff on the social medias because we're in a surveillance state. And look, if you're serious, the final emergency briefing is in 3 weeks. Seats are limited. Move now or get left behind.
I got to tell the story because you know what? They're trying to deny passports now. They want some people stuck here in the United States. So let me share my quick story. In October of 2024, something in my spirit told me to order my passport. So around the first week in October, I ordered an expedited copy, which means you pay a little more. It never came, so I contacted them. They said, we'll send you out another. So they sent me another one. It never came, so I called them back. They said, well, we'll cancel that one and send you another one. So they sent me one, then a few weeks later, another one came. Okay, now listen. The passport laws that's going on now, they can revoke your passport for different reasons. In my situation, I knew that I owed back taxes, but I knew it wasn't but 10 to 15,000. But they're saying if you owe 50,000 or more, they can revoke your passport. Now listen, I got all my W-2s last year. It was 3 of them from 3 different jobs. But something told me to get my IRS transcript. And yes, I did. I did it. And don't you know, on my IRS transcript, it's a W-2 on there for $212,000. Yes, it is. I certainly didn't make that much, and I certainly didn't work for that company. Now, on that form, it said the employer was an employer named ISAB. So what did I do? I Googled ISAB, and don't you know, it's the U.S. Department of State's International Security Advisory Board. That's right. They work with the Secretary of State. And as we know, the Secretary of State has the power to revoke the passport. How coincidental is this? It's weird and strange, but now the government is shut down and I can't even call the IRS to clear this up. But I just want to do this video and tell you, if you're planning to move out of the country, get you a transcript. Don't just rely on your W-2s and the fact that you filed your taxes. Get that transcript. You know not what might be on it. You'll be thinking you're all right with your passport. You'll get somewhere and they'll turn you back around. I'm telling you, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. But what I have to say is this. If you are a person and you want to leave the United States, but you don't have the money, here's what I need you to know. Don't fear. They want us to be afraid. They want us to fear. If I can't go to another country, I'm going to be all right. And so is you. This is the time for us to walk by faith and not by sight. Don't let fear overtake you. You got to be calm and trust in the one who's making your heart beat right now. That's right. The world is in a mess, but my heart is content. And that's what we need during these times. But we just have to get our house in order. Do the research. That's right. There's a lot going on that we can't even find out about because they're blocking a lot of information. As a matter of fact, look up music festivals and see what's going on in Portland, Oregon, and other states. I didn't know nothing about it till yesterday, but it's been going on a few months. That's right. Whatever you do, don't give up hope. We're gonna be all right. We have to believe that the Creator favors His children, whether you're in the United States or another country. The only thing about relying so much about moving to the other country is the fact that this stuff is going on all over the world. Take a look at what's happening in Italy now. It's about shut down. Yes, it is. I'm not going to let this fear control me. I'm going to be happy, peaceful, and loving. Have yourself the most beautiful day. Peace.
Hey folks, I'm going to bring up something again. I just went down in a rabbit hole a little bit about passports. I know I talked about it a lot. Go back and look. You know, it's funny. I come on here, like I said in other videos, I never intended to be on here talking about anything politics. But now that I'm in the fray, I'm going to keep talking about it because I think I'm helping a lot of people out. Look, get your passport. I went in the rabbit hole again. Now, I didn't go in the rabbit hole the first time I made a video about passport. It was just, I had a feeling based on history. And again, based on that first documentary that I told everybody to check out on Netflix about the guy with the little mustache across the Atlantic. So I just went down in a rabbit hole. I don't know, maybe because of the algorithm, it came across my For You page here about passports. There's so much shit going on right now with passports. Folks that actually work at the passport office are on here making TikToks. Here's one thing that I just learned. The wealthy folk, the people that have a lot of money, are getting second passports in other countries, getting another passport. Guess where? Most of them are getting them over in Europe. That could be for different reasons, maybe investments, business, but it's an escape plan. So another TikToker that I saw, sister comes on here. She's got a visa to be down in Mexico. She's not a citizen. She expressed that. She's not a citizen. In fact, in order to become a citizen of a lot of the countries, including the one where I have a visa, we'll talk about that in a second, you've got to either marry into that country, you know, someone there that actually is a citizen. It's so many layers. It's so many layers to getting citizenship in another country. But these folks, a lot of folks now are paying attention. And these experts that are coming to actually work at the passport office are saying, get your passport. Then I know another TikToker comes on and says, you know, these folks that they're snatching up off the street. He said one of those guys that they snatched up off the street, the only way that he was able to get out of the tent wherever they had him was because he was carrying his passport card. You know, you can get a passport card, and I've been telling y'all to either get your passport or get your passport card and carry it around with you. I know it's cumbersome. I know you shouldn't have to do this. But history shows us that back over there, back across the Atlantic, remember I did the whole video where I was in the kitchen and I did the whole demonstration, and I said, you know, you see on the documentary, the folks are going out in public and they're reminding each other, all the family members, you got your papers? You got your papers? Get your papers, because we're coming up on those guys with those coats on. Yeah. All right, I'm going to end it with this. Man. If you apply for your passport, as of an executive order that came out in January, see how they're doing all kind of shit while we're distracted with all this other stuff? On your passport, now this is from an expert. This is from somebody that works at the passport office. They are now refusing applications if you put X where the gender is for male or female. If you put X because you're binary, you know, they're human beings, but folks out here do prefer to just put X. And they're not accepting those anymore as a result of the executive order. You see how they already starting shit with this? Not accepting them, throwing them away. Just do your own homework. I'm gonna have a hashtag right at the bottom here, and it's gonna be the second thing. First thing is gonna be politics, and the second one's gonna be passport. So click on that and then go down the rabbit hole. And hopefully, if you weren't heeding my word before, now you'll start heeding my word. Get your passport, especially for folks that are walking around the United States of America that have strong accents or don't look like you know who. I'm really going to end it with this. My second home. That's why I told y'all also, I didn't want to come on here initially and start talking about me and my second home overseas, because a lot of folks can't handle that because they're saying he's just coming on here and rubbing that in our faces. I'm past that now, because you guys actually know that I do have a second place. Now, I had been planning that for retirement, but I'm going to tell you, it went into turbo action the first time that guy came down the escalator, because I knew he was a con man then. And I started hyper focusing on making that shit happen. Things like working overtime, picking up time and a half days, picking up double days, working on holidays. So when people tell me I can't leave, you can leave. And I'm not saying run. I'm saying just have a plan. Have a plan, y'all. Don't be caught off guard. There's going to be a point, I believe, that you're not going to be able to get your passport because dictators need you to be here to make them wealthy and their sycophants wealthy. Go in the rabbit hole. Just click on passport right down there and go see what I'm talking about. See you guys in another video. Take care of yourself.
Welcome back. Something powerful is happening. Something powerful is happening across America, and people are waking up. Okay? People are waking up not just to politics, but the deeper truth behind their existence. Everywhere you look right now, from TikTok to community gatherings, people are saying the same thing, that something feels off. Either you are Black American, you are white American, you are Latin American, you are Asian America, something feels off. Jobs no longer feel secure. Inflation keeps rising. Cities feels empty of soul. And the spiritual vibration of America feels heavy, like a nation sitting under judgment. So Black people especially feel it stronger because of what? Because Black people have carried weight of this country, of USA history. They have seen it all. They have seen the movie. They have seen the promises, the lies, the illusion. And right now, the spirit inside many of Black people is whispering something, that it is time to go. Okay? And that whisper is not fear. That whisper, it's prophecy. It's the same energy that led Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. And today, it is leading a new generation out of Babylon. And Babylon is the United States of America now, all over. When all of things is going on, when you go to the social media, all of our social media, as I say, in the family gatherings and gatherings out there, community gatherings, people are talking about leaving the USA. Flights to Ghana, flights to Kenya, flights to Tanzania, flights to South Africa, they are rising. People are buying land, starting businesses and applying for passports. Okay? And they call it Exodus. Exodus, the mass Exodus. But it's not about running away. What is happening? It's about returning home, returning to a life of peace, to a life of freedom and connection. Okay? And that's where the story gets interesting, because right as more Black Americans begins to make a move, stories start surfacing of people saying that my passport was delayed, my passport was denied, my renewal was rejected. Why? Something is off here. It's not a coincidence. Okay? It may be a coincidence, but I don't think so. But history tells us control is never random. Okay? Control is never random. This control behind the paper sounds like a simple thing, just travel documents. But think about it. A passport is the modern version of a pass. A paper that determines who can move and who must stay. During slavery, Black people needed written permission to travel between plantations. Okay? And today, we still need permissions just dressed up in blue cover and government cereals, government seals. That's a pass. And that's why when someone say they are denying passport now, it hits deeper, because we know control when we see it. I know control when I see one. No system wants its most powerful minds to live. And the truth is, the greatest resource America ever had is not soil, is not gold, is not silicon, but it is the people, the Black genius people. It is the creativity. It is the Black culture. It is the Black spirit. So if the children of that genius start waking away and walking away, that foundational shakes. Okay? Every collapses. First comes moral decay. Second, economic instability. Then population flight. Then the moment when people start quietly living, things get worse. Moral decay. Now we are in that phase of exodus. America is experiencing a reverse migration. The same land people used to die to enter, they now die to live. And for Black people, it's even deeper. How? Because this time, it's not just migration, it is redemption. Okay? Black people are not living just out of fear, but they are living to fulfill destiny. Now, family, remember this. Control starts in the mind. So if they can control you that living is impossible, or if they can convince you that living is impossible, then they don't even need to lock the door. Okay? For generations, they told Africa that they are poor, they are dirty, they are dangerous. They programmed us to believe that only hope of black people was to stay in America. Only hope of Africans is to go to America. Only hope of Latin America or people of color is to move from their countries and go to America. And that is the illusion. And that illusion is breaking. The system can't afford the awakening right now because the people are seeing the truth. Let's be honest here. Black America contributes over 1.6 trillion to the US. Okay? Just 10% of that left the US economy through investments, through tourism, real estate, or relocation to Africa. The ripple effect will be massive. Okay? And that's why the system whispers stay. They need labor from black people. They need labor, creativity from black people. They still need the spending power to survive. Okay? And black people were never meant to be free or to participate in these systems, to be the participant in the system. Black people were meant to be its fuel. So when people start applying for passports in large numbers, it's not paperwork. It is rebellion in action. And history here, I see history repeating itself because we have seen this before. Marcus Garvey tried to organize the same movement 100 years ago. The Back to Africa movement. He told black Americans that a people without knowledge of their past is like a tree without roots. That is reality. He built ships, the Black Star Line, to take people back home. And what happened? The US government infiltrated, sabotaged, and arrested him. So they couldn't allow black unity on a global scale. Fast forward to today, Garvey's dream is alive again. But this time, it is digital. This time, it is spiritual. And this time, it is unstoppable. When black Americans, Caribbeans, Africans unite, the world shifts. Okay? The same power that builds the pyramids, the same power that invented jazz, the same power that coded Silicon Valley and runs global culture, that power begins to move in one direction when black people unite. And that's what they fear, because unity means independence. And independence means the system loses control. So the passport issue is not just bureaucracy. It's a reflection of that fear. Okay? They don't fear us leaving. They don't fear black Americans leaving. No. What they fear is, they fear that when you leave, you will build something once you are free. You will start building. And to make all this make sense, is that Africa is calling her children home, whether you like it or not. I know a lot of people say, I'm not African, I can't go, blah, blah, blah. But Africa is calling her children home. Africa isn't what the media shows. Africa is booming. Africa is spiritual. From Nairobi to Accra, Kigali, Dar es Salaam, name the countries or name the cities. There is a new energy. Young people creating, building, innovating. Black Americans arriving in these countries and say that it feels like I have been here before. Because spiritually, they have been here. So that is the ancestral memory waking up. That is the vibration of home calling the children back. Okay? While the West fights inflation, Africa is creating new trade routes. While the West fights inflation, digital currencies and tech ecosystem is being created by Africans. Kenya leads in mobile finance. Nigeria leads in film and music. Ghana has a tourism and cultural return. Rwanda leads in innovation and governance. What else are we looking for? Africa isn't waiting for permission right now. And the diaspora isn't asking for validation. So together they are global black economy. And that's why the system panics. That's why the system panics, because for centuries, Africa was exploited, and now again. And that the same people they once enslaved are coming back as investors, are coming back as thinkers, are coming back as builders. Okay? So, said, something in my spirit told me to order my passport. Or when that sister on the video said, something in my spirit told me to order my passport, he spoke for millions. Millions and millions of people. This is not about tourism. What is happening is about divine timing. Okay? For centuries, the enemy used distance to divide black people, not technology. Okay? Today, I just talked to one of my brothers from Jamaica. We communicated. So technology is uniting us. We plan some things and things are going on. So I'll say this, our ancestors dreamed of this back then. The first day, or the day when their descendants in the West will return to the motherland, not in chains but in glory. They dreamed about this. So when you stand on African soil, something changes. You feel taller, you breathe easier, you remember who you are. And that's what scares the system most, because a person who remembers who they are can't be controlled. And that's why they distract us with celebrity gossip. That's why they feed us fear of travel. And now some say even play with our freedom of movement. But the truth is, you can't block destiny. If Pharaoh couldn't stop Moses, no government can stop this exodus. Now, I'll talk about the first passport you need isn't in your hand. The first passport you need, it is in your mind. Okay? Because freedom starts with consciousness. When you mentally break from dependency, you are already on your way out. And that's why we must detox from fear, media programming, and spiritual fatigue. Okay? We must remember that liberation starts within. So if they deny you a document, they can't deny you destiny. Even while Americans are sensing the collapse, they are complaining about the things black people have been survived for centuries. Corruption, poverty, injustice. Okay? But the difference is we have built strength through the storms, and now the world is shifting. And the system that thrived on inequality is decaying. The tables are turning. And the children of the sun are rising. Okay? And to those watching this and thinking that maybe it is time, start preparing now. If you are thinking it's time for you to go, start preparing now. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for fear to pass. Research African nations. Get your paperwork ready. Build digital income. Connect with the brothers and sisters on the continent. Because when the door closes, only the prepared will walk through. And this is not conspiracy. This is a calling. Okay? It's a calling. Now, they can deny you passports, they can deny you everything, but they can't deny you prophecy. They can slow the process, but they cannot stop the purpose, because what's happening now is bigger than politics. This is spiritual alignment, okay? A divine movement. America may try to hold on, but the vibration of truth is rising. And the children of Africa, scattered by slavery, united by spirit, are finding their way home. Okay? When a system starts denying you the right to live, it means that your freedom was never real in the first place. So you need to think about it. My family, I'm happy for you to be here. So stay awake, stay royal, and remember that you are not leaving America. You are just returning to destiny. Grand rising kings and queens,